How many words can you make out of Happy Thanksgiving? As I recall, I made a lot. I believe that was probably first grade. I want to say that was first grade. It's hard to piece all these things together, from my childhood. There's a lot of blurriness between my absolute childhood and my 25 somethings onward. There's a lot of blurriness in there, which kind of obscures the childhood memories. Probably it disjoints them, most certainly chronologically. Well, let's say it was first grade. Yeah, I came in third behind the two little girls, two little brainiacs. Goody four shoes. Yeah. I was a good speller. They say some things are in you. For instance, some musicians, pick up their instrument that they're known for. They begin to play and you know instantly who it is. That kind of thing. Some things are in you. I can remember the absolute boredom with, yeah, cat, I got it. Can we move on? C-A-T. Got it, teach. Uchitonitsa. Russian, the teacher. Uchitonitsa. 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 Yeah, got it, cat. Boom. My grandmother was an excellent writer. My mother was an excellent writer. I think of the three of us, probably Catherine, my grandmother, was probably the greatest. She held the mightiest pen. Certainly. Slice you up, she could, and you'd like it. Was that song by Billy Joel? She's so good with her stiletto, you don't even mind the pain or the blade. Yeah. Second grade, you're given these books, and each week you've got your lessons. And I remember there'd be a list of words, 10 words. I want to say 10. I want to say 10. And you had to memorize those words. Man, you had to get them spelled right. I think define them too. Offer a brief definition. I was good. I was so good by the second grade. The teacher announced, apparently I wasn't as good as those two brainiacs, but I guess that's neither here nor there. Hopefully they both, can't say nasty things about other people. I want to say hopefully they both got into awful marriages and their husbands left them with 3 kids each. But that would be petty of me. I can't do that. Yep, second grade. Wow, John, you're so good at this. Did you know we have an advanced program for students that show aptitude in this area? If you study this list here and you pass the test, we can put you in 3rd grade English. I'm in the 2nd grade. I love a challenge. I always have. Like my father, I can be the biggest prick in town. And a fight? Oh, I'm ready. You stick your chin out there. Because I got a big nose, so I got a big target on my face. You leave with that stupid chin? Oh, I'm going to tag it. Yeah. That mouth. You start running that mouth, I'm going to tag it. I studied that list. I studied that list. I was ready. I was ready for Freddy. stopping this boy, this child prodigy. No, sir. On about the time that it came for the exam, there was an announcement that the program had been canceled. And I closed that book symbolically. And I said, you adults, you liars, you lied to me. You adults are liars. And I shunned up. I think it was probably in that moment that I just shunned a formal education completely. In my heart, I shunned it. Or I discounted it. I discounted it for what it was. An institution run by man. Again, could I formulate everything I just shared with you there? No. All I saw was that adults are liars. And I shut that book. As I went on through life, I noticed I developed this problem with, I want to say dyslexia. Not even dyslexia. It was more like just stupidity. Knowing all the sounds of the alphabet, but yet even in the most mundane, the most simple of words, single syllable, monosyllabic, one syllable word, I would misspell them. Into my 20s and 30s. Into my 20s. Didn't really bother me too much because it wasn't like I was doing a lot of writing of anything. But I became acutely aware of this handicap when I got in the program of AA and got sober. I didn't recognize the handicap. It wasn't mine. Quick aside, now you got to help me get back to where I'm at. Handicap. How can I do? I'll put the pen, I'll put it like it's going into my ear. I'm handicapped, like I'm about to be deaf. I'll never remember. That's too much of an aside. Maybe I should do it this way. Hold on. Let me do that here. Hold on, just bear with me. Because I do all this on the fly. All right. Now I've forgotten what the hell I'm at. Closed the book, and I passed judgment on adults. I said, you're liars. Developed a spelling impediment. I realized it wasn't mine. It didn't belong to me. And you want to know how I realized it? I realized it by getting into AA and getting sober. And about 6 months later, I remember exactly where I was, laying on the bed in the townhouse. I don't think the wife had come to bed yet. The wife. And I had what I call one of those time bubbles. It had finally, because I had stopped anesthetizing my brain, it had finally reached the surface of obfuscation and popped. And as I lay there in bed, I went, eureka. Aha, now I see why I'm a bad speller. I set myself up to fail. It was probably, I want to say 8 months, 10 months, 2 years sobriety. And over the years, I've slowly worked my way out of that. Am I a great speller now? No, but I'm not a silly speller either. And I'm also very good at crosswords. Thanks to your tax dollars. You're welcome. I'll work me some crosswords in the federal government. I ain't gonna lie. I said earlier, it didn't belong to me. Now you have to remember that based on other stories I've told you in here, I'm a loner. I always have been. When we were married, we were both loners. There was her, there was me, and there was us, and we took damn good care of us, I want you to know. Yes, we did. Better than anybody else around us, I don't mind saying. There, I got that out. I knew that leading up to that, I mean, that time bubble, I knew it wasn't mine. It didn't belong to me. Like David Attenborough, excuse me, get your teeth fixed. I love you, man. Get your teeth fixed. You got the money. You're a knight, okay? I love Sir David Attenborough. He was on Dick Cavett one day on a talk show. And Dick Cavett was known for just being the, much like, I want to say my attorney, one of my attorneys, just a ferret. Brutal. Don't let him in the hen house. Dick Cavett was like that with his guests. Oh! Why anybody would ever want to go on that man's show that had any kind of secret or things they just wish weren't know. Because apparently this boy did his research on his guests. He got David Attenborough up in there. David Attenborough's an Englishman, a naturalist, I want to say biologist, does nature programs. Wonderful man, wonderful man. Dick Cavett says to him at one point, out of the blue, like he does, man, he comes up left field, he goes, so I understand you're a terrible stutterer. And to the knight's credit, he wasn't a sir then, but to the knight's credit, he looked Dick Cavett in the eye squarely, man to man, vis-a-vis. He said, well, yes, I am. He took it. And Cavett says, well, we're talking, and I don't hear you stuttering. And Sir David Attenborough said, that's because every morning when I wake up, I sit up the edge of my bed and I go through the alphabet and I pronounce all of the letters. And the ones that I'm having trouble with on that day, apparently it changes up. Oh, he said, I ascertain, he says to Cavett, basically, I learned the letters I'm having problems with that day. And I make sure that when I'm speaking to you, I don't use any words that start with that letter. The mind of man, the brain, the organ that God gave you. That's a pretty powerful thing. I was like, bully for you, dude. You have in effect reduced your handicap to nothing. You have intellectually reasoned your way out of your handicap. I tell you all that to go back to what I said when I said to you, I couldn't understand why I couldn't spell the most simple of words. The most simplest of words until that time bubble hit the surface. My mother did the best. My parents did the best they could. Were they perfect? No, they weren't perfect. I was alone a lot, largely by my own choosing. So there was nobody there to see me symbolically take the textbook cover and go. This story isn't. It does not have inexplicable facets to it the way so many of the other stories I've given of myself to you here has. I'm telling you this for a different reason. I'm telling you this for the family unit's sake. The family unit, which is really on its last legs. The destruction of the family unit. That is part of the purpose of madness. What do they call it? Observe Rule 227. Stalin, not 1 foot back, not 1 step backwards. And if you do, you torch everything. Leave nothing for the invader. Wasteland. What a go off on that tear now. I'm gone. So yeah, I slammed that textbook closed. And Mama wasn't there to do my homework with me diligently. I guess that's what I'm getting at. Dad wasn't there. And why should my brother be there? I was nothing but a thorn in his paw, 6 years younger. And I was left to my own devices. I had made this executive level decision about my life in that moment as a second grader. And there was no one there to catch me. So I guess I'm relaying this story to you about me to say that if you have a child, maybe keep tabs on them. Because let's face it, you haven't been. You don't know the stuff they're seeing and communicating on their smartphones now. And it's largely due to your apathy. It's largely due to your selfishness. Your world. You brought the children into the world. It is your responsibility to raise them in the way that they should go, but you do not. You bear them, and I'm speaking to both, the baby daddy and the baby mama. You two bear that child, and then you give it to the world instantly. Now, instantly. There's an acronym I learned in AA, GOD, good, orderly direction. How much good, orderly direction could I have as a second grader? How much? With no one there to watch me. Now, if you're a mother or you're a father and you got a kid, I hope I've reached you.